Hi, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Paiagroject, the unofficial podcast for the board game Gaia project. First things first, thank you! Thank you for the appreciation for the last episode. I was really a bit hesitant about a comeback because I didn't know how you all would have reacted to a new episode. I don't know, maybe it's out of time, the expansion is coming out, it's too late, but why are you doing this? Now there are better and stronger players out there doing streams and such. But no, you all were really kind, you were really appreciative. Thanks a lot. And also, wow, thanks to those who tipped me last time. Really, uh, again, that was really appreciated. You can trust me. Uh, there was especially one person who sent me an especially generous tip. Really, thank you. Check out your PayPal inbox. You have a message of gratitude from me. Tell me if I can do something for you. I don't know, I could wash your car, maybe. If you're in Italy, I can. I don't know. But seriously, again, thank you. Thank you all. So, here's a Taklons guide for you. And why is this a Taklons guide, you may ask? Well, first and foremost, we still have like 3 factions left. So that wasn't really that hard of a decision. But in last episode's descriptions, no, not in the description, it was in the comment section. If you went to the comment section, there was a small poll where you could vote for the next faction guide. I know. The fact that I didn't tell you about this in the episode could have limited your action. But this time I'm telling you, there will be, and I will repeat this at the end of the episode, there will be a poll for the next faction guide. You just have to decide between Ivits and Itars, of course. Last time it was between Taklons and Ivits, basically. But who knows? Now that people know that there's a poll, you all might react and tell me which one you prefer. And maybe things will change. I don't know. Anyway, I'm ready both for an Ivits and Itars guide. I mean, that's super easy. I could do that in my sleep. They're very easy faction to play with. Also, on the news side, I have finally downloaded the rules for the Lost Fleet, the Gaia Project expansion, which should come out. Nobody's really sure, but I heard that Foyerland is bringing with them some copies of the expansion at the Gen Con at the beginning of August. So that likely will be more or less the date when the copies will be sent. I already pre-ordered my copy. It's an Italian copy from Crime Creations. Yeah, those from Barrage. No, don't worry, this is not a Kickstarter, so I'm fine, I'm fine. Okay, I will always deny I said this. And so I am already preparing an episode about the Lost Fleet, of course. It will be a first impression episode because I won't have time to play it enough in order to say appropriate things about it following some plays. But I still want to do that because I think it's interesting, it's nice, and it looks like the expansion will have an important impact on the overall game. Anyway, without further ado, let's proceed with the Taklons guide. A Taklons guide which wasn't entirely written by me, actually. Because, between me and Molfo, I wasn't really the good one at Taklons. He played them way better than I ever did. So I reached out to him and asked him, hey, can you give me like a few tips about Taklons? Because I think I'm going to write a guide about them and I would like to hear some tips from you, some opinions based on your expertise. He then answered me, starting to say, oh, I don't know, I really don't remember much about Gaia Project nor Taklons. And then proceeded to send me 13 minutes of voice notes about Taklons. Too bad he sent them in Italian. Otherwise, I could just have edited them, slapped them on podcasters, and that would have been it. But no. So I actually have to do an episode, but Molfo made a very important contribution to this episode, so that you know. Okay then, let's go with the Taklons guide. Let's talk Taklons them for the second time actually, because the first time I recorded this, I then discovered while I was editing the whole episode that my AirPods Pro 2 recorded an obscene amount of cracks and pops and stuff, which made the whole track completely unlistenable too. Thank you, Apple computers. And I need a new microphone. I need a new microphone. Well, anyway. Second take, better than the first one, I'm sure. Let's start by having a look at Taklons' player board. Taklons have a weirdly normal, a weirdly vanilla game board, faction board. Because looking at that, you will notice nothing that is different from your average faction board, except for, well, of course, the Planetary Institute, because the PI is because the PI grants you a very, very weird ability, which is anytime after you build this PI, anytime you will charge power from an opponent building a mine next to one of your structures, or by upgrading one of their buildings next to your structures, you also must gain one power token, which will be placed in ball 1 before or after charging power, as usual. Weird ability, extremely weird ability, and to be fair, not the greatest one in the game, but yeah, also an interesting one, and an ability which can of course help you greatly when one of the final scoring objectives is satellites. More about that in a minute. Anyway, not the greatest Planetary Institute in the game, I will be totally honest with you about this, and so, well, I would say a situational structure. Of course, you will build this if 5 points per large building is one of the round scoring objectives, or if you grabbed the 4 points per large building booster at the end of the round, if you can afford that. But aside from that, yeah, weird PI, interesting one, not the greatest of them all. Now, what else do we do? Actually nothing. The only specific difference between Taklons and Other Faction at this point is that they start the game with 2 power in their ball 1, 4 power in ball 2, nothing weird up to now, and a Brainstone in ball 1 of their power cycle. What's that? Well, a Brainstone is a weird component of the game, quite a gross component, if I may, like this purple plastic stone with a color way different from the power tokens. This is the worst component of the box, unlike the QIC cubes, which are by far best component among all board game components in the world. But I'm digressing. Yeah. The Brainstone. You place it in your bowl number 1. It will then cycle throughout the game, just like any other power token, but anytime you spend your Brainstone, that will give you 3 power in return. And this may not seem a lot, but trust me, it is. It is really a great ability, and this is an ability on which you will have to focus obsessively throughout all the game in order to get the most out of it. Your goal for this game will be to maximize the output of resources which can be pumped up by the brainstone with the aid of some power tokens. It's not particularly difficult, and that's also why Taklons are recommended for starting players, but yeah, it can make us amazing. We're rich people. Taklons are a rich faction. So that's it. Just there will Paia and this small, magnificent, amazing brainstone. Now, how do Taklons perform in game with respect to the map? Well, whatever. Let me tell you, whatever. Everything's fine here. You don't have to look for a particularly well set map. You just have to look for like one brown planet within QAC distance of another one, and that's fine, you're done. I mean, this is a good map for Taklons, that's it, nothing else. You really don't have to look at the map for you, but rather you have to look at the map for other factions, and you should play Taklons if, well, first and foremost, if this is not a particularly explosive game under the profile of early expansion, because in that case, just pick Ambass, that will be easier. But no, you will have to look at the map and consider, try to put yourself in the shoes of other players and get which are the factions which will be picked for that game. This really is affected by how the whole game is set up, because, I don't know, in case there's an auction between different factions, you can immediately look at all the possible planets where players will place their mines at the beginning, so that will be much easier. But you can also read the map, the final scorings, the various styles and so on, and try to guess which factions are the best for this game and where they will place their mines. If you're insecure, well man, we have plenty of guides on this podcast for you to listen to. We can give you an idea. What else do we need? Nothing. We literally need nothing. Because what we need is to stay in the crowd, we need to have company, we need to keep next to other people's buildings and to be charged and charged and charged. That's literally everything we need. Seriously. So don't worry too much about the map, just look at other elements of the setup. Speaking about this, we always start with final scorings, and here, well, I have good news for you, because again, this is like an Ambass-like situation, they're almost all good. Structures, the number of structures, we're good because we are rich, number of structures in federations, of course. Anyway, this is good because we are rich, we can expand, maybe not at the beginning, but we can build mines in the late game with relative ease, providing there is still space, of course. We're not as good as Ambass at that, granted, but still, Taklons can build a huge amount of structures. Planet types, we're good. We are good at terraforming because, well, we like the terraforming track first and foremost, and then we can also use power actions to colonize planets which are distant from our native swarm planets. So that's fine. Satellites. That can be great, because in that case, of course, I would recommend you to build the Planetary Institute at the latest, like round 5, maybe round 4 is better. And from that moment, you can really get a huge amount of power tokens for your final scoring. It can also clog a bit your power cycle, of course, but you can always stay efficient by burning some of this power. Not all of them, otherwise why are you building your PI? But yeah, the mere presence of your Planetary Institute will make you way better at satellites, providing that you will receive some charge from others. What else do we have here? Sectors. We're not the best at sectors, but we can do fairly well. Again, Ambass are the best at this on the brown board, but yeah, we can expand nonetheless. We can expand especially late game. We can grab planets. We can go for an emergency Gaia forming round 5. So sectors, nothing wrong with us. We are not the best, but we are definitely not the worst. Gaia planets. Gaia planets are weird. Well, truth is,
when I see Gaia planets as a final scoring objective, it's not like I say, ooh, Taklons, I have to get them. No, but we are very good and very flexible, which is the real strength of strong factions. So we can always lean on more economic and terraforming type of play. And then, or maybe from mid-game and something like that, we can start going up the Gaia forming track, and we can start Gaia forming, and maybe we can even make our brainstorm more efficient by freezing the other power tokens. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, you can also burn your brainstorm as if it were just a regular token in order to put a satellite in play, or you can freeze it to start Gaia forming a transiting planet. But in both cases, it counts just as one power token, and I think that burning your brainstorm in order to form a federation, if it is not literally one of the last actions of the game, is one of the most stupid things you can do in Gaia Project. So please don't. Anyway, Gaia planets, that can be fine. We can colonize 1 or 2 Gaia planets early and then start Gaia forming from round, say, 3 to 4. More on that later. But yeah, we should not be scared about that. Also, when that final scoring objective is in play, the strong Gaia formers tend to be in play, and they also tend to fight each other for transitims. So maybe while they are Gaia forming way more efficiently than we do, we can grab all the other juicy bonuses that maybe are left hanging there while they're waging war against each other. So this is it basically. We have 6 final scoring objectives and we are good at basically all of them, or at least we can be. What else can you ask from a faction? Now, let's talk for a fair while about power management, because this aspect is for sure crucial for a Taklons game. As I was saying in the introduction, you should be obsessed by optimizing the yield of your brainstorm, because that's where all your wealth, all your possibilities come from with respect to, say, normal faction. Now, what does this mean? Well, first of all, never, unless you have a very solid and specific plan, never leave your brainstorm in the third bowl of your power cycle at the end of your round. If you have not performed the power action, which I absolutely recommend you to do if possible, just before passing, spend it, move it in your bow 1 of the Gaia cycle, of the power cycle. Maybe earn 1 ore, maybe 3 credits, maybe spend another power along with it and earn a QIC, whatever suits your needs for the moment, or whatever will help you with the income phase of the next round. I don't know. But always be prepared to get the maximum from any charge that you should receive during that round. Then, of course, try to keep the bowl 2 and 3 of your power cycle with as many power tokens as possible, so that it will be just the brainstorm and maybe 1 or 2 power tokens more as needed for your power actions to cycle, so that the efficiency will be maximum. And until now, I think it's quite obvious what I've been saying. But yeah, another recommendation is be daring with your power cycle. Do not be afraid to burn, especially at the beginning of the game. Burn power tokens in order to push that brainstorm and spend it. Push and spend. No worries about the power tokens that you're missing. It's not like a problem to get the Federation with which gives you 2 extra power tokens. That's absolutely fine, because the resources that would have come along with the Federation, you have already earned them by burning tokens and spending your brainstorm. And that Federation isn't bad at all. It's like 8 points, so it's the maximum value for the green ones. Now, Taklons should always be prepared to recover from expensive power actions. This is something that becomes especially important when you are performing at the end of the round something that you can absolutely do, along with Iris and Terrence, and Nevlas, of course, but they have to do some more calculations. Anyway, at the end of your round, if that action is still available, and it will likely be, you can, with relative ease, spend your Brainstone and 4 more power tokens to perform the 3 knowledge power action. That can greatly help you, of course, throughout the game. If while doing this, you will earn 1 extra step in the technology tracks, by all means do that. Just be sure to have a recover plan for your next round, because you will begin the round with 4 power tokens and your Brainstone in bowl 1 of your power cycle, so the Brainstone won't be ready to be spent, and that's a bit of a shame. So maybe think about it, but also consider, especially at the beginning of the game, that every time you pass from the second to the third space of each technology track, you are charging 3. And Taklons are maybe the faction which gets the most from this. Nevlos are second, but Taklons can maybe, but likely, move the Brainstone in bowl 3, maybe burning a token, doesn't matter, do it. But so this is also important for to consider when you are deciding your opening. That's why I'm going to recommend 2 different openings. The first being the Academy opening, which is relatively easy for the abundance of resources that you get from your Brainstone, and the second one is the 2 research labs. Of course, do this when according to the round scoring bonuses and the round boosters. If you start the game with the large buildings bonus, oh my god, you started with that? That's amazing, Taklons, amazing. Or the round 1 scoring bonus is for large buildings, of course, go for an academy building. And maybe consider doing 3 steps in the track of your choice, so that you can pass that charge 3 mark in round 1, which will give you even extra resources at the beginning of the game, which will then snowball more efficiently. When to decide to go for 2 research labs? Well, maybe you have 2 activities, 2 activity centers of the other players near both of your starting mines, so that's absolutely fine. You will build the 2 trade stations first, and then we'll upgrade them to research labs. Maybe the first one will earn you the 1 ore and 1 QAC tile, so that building the second one will be easier. This opening is expensive as well. And another aspect is that you will need less ore in this case, because you will need just 10, but you will need more credits, because you will need 16 of them. So also deal with the resources you have. This option for your opening is way better when the round scoring bonus for round 1 is trade stations. So you will build 2 of them to build your labs, you will earn more points, and you can still do what I told you just now, which is going to the step 3 of a technology track. In general, those are the recommendations for power cycle. Be daring, don't worry to burn tokens, always end your turn with the Brainstone spent, and of course, always remember that should you be on shortage of power tokens, you can always build your Planetary Institute, which will give you a lot of them. It won't help a lot with the cycle per se, but you can easily recover burnt power tokens with that building.
Now let's talk technology tracks and basic tech tiles. I already recommended you to take 3 steps on a technology track round 1 with Taklons, so that you can charge 3 in the process with a great advantage for you. The question so is, which technology track should I choose? Well, there are somehow 2 schools of thought in this regard. The first one is to go up economy, so that it will give you the resources income and also the charge power income. And then there's another one who is for science. So go up science, your Brainstone will grant you the other resources that you need in order to build your stuff. And also, this tracker has a greater return on investment because, in terms of raw power, its income is greater. Uh, where do I stand? Well, I think both points are valid. It does not depend too much, in my opinion, which track you decide to go up in a vacuum. It depends on which basic tactile sits at the bottom of each track and also which advanced tactile is on top of them. Me, I prefer economy. I think it's easier. I would recommend you to choose economy for your first games with Taklons. Then you can experiment with science. But it's not crucial. You can easily go up one, and maybe if you really don't need navigation or terraforming early, you can also go up the other one, at least a bit. But yeah, in a vacuum, I would recommend you to go up economy. Also, some players play Taklons going up navigation. That's fine. You can reach navigation 2 with relative ease in order to colonize more planets. But then, I don't know, the third step doesn't seem like the best one round one because it will just give you a QIC and it won't give you any net income. And also, if you are going to expand, why did you pick Taklons and not Ambas? Because that would just have been easier since you had the brown. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there's an auction and you could not choose Ambas. So all of these are possible. My recommendation is to get economy, but I was saying that there's an important factor which needs to be taken into account, and that factor is what basic tactile sits at the bottom of each track. That's right, because round one we need, aside from the one QAC, which we will likely need in order to build the second lab or the academy, we also need one specific tile. And this tile is super extra hyper important for us, and that's somehow something which decides whether we are taking Taklons or not, and that's the charge for power tile, the special action which charges for power. That's absolutely recommended to be taken round one by Taklons players, and it's very important which track it sits at the bottom of. Because if that tile is at the bottom or economy or science, then your decision is taken. You are going up the track which allows you to get the tile round one. It is super helpful for us. It basically guarantees us another round of Ball 3 Brainstorm. It gives us really a lot of resources in return for its investment, along with the bump on the track. So absolutely be sure that you can grab the tile on one with Taklons. The recommendations are, of course, economy or science. It's fine also if it's I don't know, at the bottom of terraforming. You can also use you won't have the three charges, but yeah, you also have D3 or. So maybe you can grab some knowledge using your brainstorm, which now is free from 2 hours. That's fine. But yes, my first recommendation is for that tile at the bottom of economy. Which tech tracks are we going up to then? Well, we will likely make a lot of science, especially if you're opening with the Academy 1, but also with the second lab. And also, we're getting extra knowledge from our brainstorm as extra resources. So, yeah, we really are taking a lot of bumps on the technology tracks. Which tracks? Well, after economy or science, both of them actually seems a bit of a stretch, even if I said that before. No, maybe choose one. Maybe stick to that round one, and maybe pick the other one later if you really want to. But yeah, after that, we need navigation as much as anyone else. Okay, we can grab QACs with our brainstorm, but that doesn't seem ideal. I think you will agree with that. So maybe navigation 2 is a good baseline we can aim for. Terraforming, we are rich, we are good faction at terraforming. The 2 terraforming power actions are super easy for us. The brainstorm helps us greatly for that. But we also like terraforming because, why not taking the Federation tile on top of that? Why not being able to terraform with just one extra ore for each step? Terraforming is a nice track for us, even if we can somehow do without that. But no, I wouldn't recommend you not to go up terraforming. Navigation, already said. QIC track, interesting, but not that interesting. I mean, it's as good as it is for anybody else, but we can earn our QACs using our brainstorm. We can start around with an extra QAC from our brainstorm and then immediately shoot a QAC action. So I'm not really sure. Of course, we can do that. Why not? Gaia forming. This is where I start raising eyebrows. Let me be clear. I won't state this time that Taklons cannot Gaia form. They can absolutely Gaia form. They're just not the best at that. So to sum this up, if the charge for power action tile sits at the bottom of, I don't know, QIC or the Gaia track, I would consider not picking Taklons because you can, and let me return to the Gaia forming track, you can choose to Gaia form throughout your game. If you're really good at that, it can also help you with your brainstorm cycle because you can freeze other power tokens, and that will grant you to just cycle your brainstorm with maximum efficiency. But it is hard. I have done it, but I never felt it was ideal, or at least not as ideal as going up economy. So I think you can go up the Gaia track, but maybe not in the very early game. Maybe like from the mid game, from round 3 onwards, to just colonize some extra Gaia planets, to just deny some Gaia points from through proper Gaia forming factions, stuff like that. Also to expand a little more, why not? But I don't think that Taklons can be an inherently good faction Gaia forming. Also because in the following Gaia phase, all the power which is now stuck in the Gaia ball will return in your ball number 1 of the power cycle, thus clogging it in a horrible, horrible way. And we really don't like that. Also, if we need our tokens to Gaia form, we cannot burn them in order to make the brainstorm cycle even better, even more. And finally, if we really have to freeze our brainstorm, that will be horrible because we are then denied our brainstorm not only for the rest of the round, but also for the next income phase. So feel free to Gaia form, that's fine, but I mean, don't start your game saying, okay, I will play this game with Gaia forming Taklons. Maybe started thinking, okay, I'm playing a Taklons game, a normal Taklons game, and somewhere throughout the round, I can go up Gaia forming. That could work. That could actually work. So that's basically it for technology tracks. What else to say regarding base technology tiles, which does not imply the charge for power tile? Well, you are going to get many of them because we are rich and we are building lots of labs and academies, and we can also perform the occasional 4QSC action. Why not? Now, which are the good tiles? Well, all of them. All of the no, not all of them, but all the income ones, of course, are good. One or charge one synergizes very well with our abilities. 4 credits is always good, but maybe it is better to get the extra knowledge, extra credit. You can remove the maybe. I think it's better 1 knowledge and 1 extra credit, also because credits are way easier to get with our brainstorm than the knowledge. So all of these are quite good. Power value 4 for large structures. Well, throughout the game, we will build a lot, and it's not unlikely that we will form 4 federations. And so this tile greatly help us in that. But remember that as we upgrade our buildings, charging will cost us a lot. And also it will make charging less efficient. On the other hand, we will have an academy in play if we started with that. So maybe we want that for our first fed. I don't know. Grab the tile. It helps you in order to form your 4th federation. But be wary because you will also risk losing a lot of points when charging. And it's not granted that it will help your efficiency because maybe it's better to just burn and throw your brainstorm in ball 3. Whatever. Anyway, you will end up getting that, so who cares? One knowledge for each planet type, you will get it. It's good. We are good at terraforming, so we really should take that and take advantage of the extra bump. Why not? Or maybe bumps even. I don't know. The only basic tactile which I would recommend you, not against, but to take just when you are really, really sure that you're going to use that, is the 3 point per Gaia planet. But that actually is not a tile that you have to look at the beginning of the game in order to pick Taklons or not. Just pay attention to the charge 4 and maybe to the 1 ore and 1 QSE, and you will be fine. You will be fine. You will end up like getting many of those, and that's absolutely fine. So, advanced technology tiles. What do we like? It's a bit boring to make these guides for the good factions because it's just do what's best for you. What do I have to tell you? Yeah, we like the good ones here. We are one of the factions which can actually challenge other factions to get the good tiles which sit at the top of technology tracks which are useful for us. So look at the top of the economy and or science track according to what I said up to now. And also it's likely that we will want to go up the terraforming track early to get the federation and then an advanced tile. So terraforming, economy and science tracks could be the place for good advanced technology tiles. Which are the good ones? Well, you know them. 3 points per federation. We don't have any specific advantage for forming federation, aside from the fact that we are rich, and that's always a good advantage. So we will likely start hammering with that with like 6-9 points quite early in the game, like maybe in round 3, and then it can only get better. Always a nice style. I love it. 2 points per advancement, always good. Just get it if you can. 2 points per Gaia. No, I mean, get it exclusively if you have an extra Federation token and you can deny it to a proper Gaia forming faction. But that's very situational and not something that we are aiming for when we are picking Taklons at the beginning of the game. 5 points per Federation. You know I don't like the tile, but if you can, why not? 3 points per mine. Amazing. That's very good in general, and it's especially good for rich factions as Taklons because we have the money and we can build buildings up to late in the game using our terraforming abilities. I mean, it's not 3 points per lab. That's also another good one. It's not especially good for tackles, but yeah, that's always a good one. You can easily score like 6 points around without any particular effort. Again, you know the drill. You know which are the good ones, and you know that if you can, you should take them, and you will likely can get them. Points per sector, I'm not quite sure with Taklons, but yeah, you will score something, and you will deny an expander serious points. So grab that. 2 points per mine, you can easily engineer something in order to score that to its maximum, but that's not something that makes me say, oh, 2 points per mine, I have to grab Taklons. No, it's okay, but yeah, we're not specifically synergistic with that. You got it. You have the opportunity to get creative with Taklons, and that's why I would like to talk about buttons. 3 knowledge button, 3 ores button, 5 credit, and 1 QAC button. I think they are good. I think they're good, and the earlier we can get them, the better. Again, not something which screams Taklons to me, but something that I think is worth investing into, especially the one which is likely my favorite one, the 3 knowledge button. Or maybe the 5 credits and 1 QSC, always a great one, which maybe can remove our need to go up the navigation track early, so we can go up both economy and science and have a ridiculous amount of resources throughout the game. I don't know. I recommend you to experiment with them. I have seen seriously good things done with that. I have experimented especially with the 3 knowledge button, and I didn't regret getting it. Of course, never get it later than round 3 because then it starts getting a bit stale for its investment. But if you can get an early resource button with Taklons, yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But let's talk about round scoring bonuses, and this is where Taklons really flex their flexibility muscle. By the way, did you know that insects and arthropods in general have muscles as well? And they're attached to their exoskeletons. Ah, that's weird, huh? Anyway, round scoring bonuses, I was saying. Well, everything's good for us. Everything's good for us. Maybe we don't like totally mine bonuses at the beginning of the game. If it's early game Gaias, it's not good for anyone except for Gleans. So, I mean, who cares? I mean, if you can take Gleans, but if you can't, that's absolutely the same. Look at the other elements of the setup. But aside from that, aside from, say, I don't know, 3 mine rounds in the first 3 rounds, then every game is a good Taklons game. What do we have at the beginning? We have, I don't know, trade stations, that's fine. Open with 2 research labs, or maybe open with an academy and then expand and build your your trade stations. Do you have an early research round? Then that's perfect for us. Large buildings at the beginning, the academy is all yours. Gaia planets in the, say, from round 4 onwards. Okay, it looks like that from round 3 we'll have to take a few steps on the Gaia track and place our Gaia formers down as well. But that's not something that we cannot do. So yeah, this is where Taklons really show their flexibility and show why we put them in our early faction tiers episodes, like episodes 1 and 2. You can check it out. Taklons were in episode 2. This tells you why we put Taklons as the strongest faction of all. Do I still stand by that? I don't know. Maybe IVs are a bit more broken, but your brainstorm is super flexible, grants you everything you need to do anything. So that's fine. Maybe we are not fans of a super late large buildings bonus. Okay, maybe we like it one earlier, but I mean, we can also forfeit like 5 extra points in order to have an academy open round 1 and then make it up for it with the resources the academy is giving us. So yeah, really not much else to say here. We just don't like very early mines and Gaia planets bonuses, and we have to keep an eye out for late mine bonuses because we just need to have the planets available. So yeah, in that case also the Gaia track can help, but we can do anything. We can do anything. We're really good. Seriously, we're really good. Not much to say here. Maybe I can talk a bit also about round boosters, but again, they are very good. They're very good at when it comes to round boosters. The ones we don't like are just the 4 credits and 1 point per Gaia at the end of the round. That's not ideal because it encourages people to take Gaia form infections, which will exploit that booster way more than we will do. 2 points per trade station always sucks. We are not a faction which likes having their trade stations open. We'd rather open our labs. So yeah, not a great one, but that booster is never something that you choose your faction based on, so who cares? 1 point per mine. We're not the most expansionist faction, so yeah, not the best. 3 points per lab and 1 knowledge, 4 points per large building. These are good with a capital G. They are very good. We like to build up. We have money we can spend, and if we can earn money from that, the better. Sorry, if we can earn points from that, the better. The money we will earn it. No, don't worry at all. Step booster, always good. Not something that we really need because we are good at terraforming anyway. We are very good at the 3 point power action for one terraforming step. It's just a brainstorm for us, as it is the 2 extra power tokens. So in order to compensate for our burning, but if that booster is in play, it really does not make the game. I mean, that's okay. No, I would recommend you to look Like for the research labs and large buildings bonus, the large buildings bonus is amazing with this charge for amazing. If you can grab that round one, this is gonna be a great game. And maybe shun a bit the small buildings scorings. So Gaia planets, which is not small buildings, but you got what I said, and mines. They can really favor factions such as Lantids, Xenos, and not be your best bet. That's all I have to say. Range 3 booster is even better for us because it also helps us charging our brainstorm. So, I mean, what else can you ask from, from the booster? And so that's it. That's it for one of the most useless guides I think we have ever done because Taklons, they're just good. They're just good. Pick them, and it will be at least an okay game. At least an okay game. Well, maybe if I don't know every single advanced tile on top of economy, science, and terraforming is a resources button, and the charge for tile sits at the bottom of the Gaia track. Okay, maybe that's going to be a hard game for Taklons, but really they're fringe cases. Play Taklons, experiment with. They are so good that you can experiment with them, and in fact, I encourage you to do so. Now, in conclusion, let me thank you again for all your listening, for your warm reception of this comeback. If you want to help me, well, then first and foremost, please subscribe. Subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. You can leave a review, that's absolutely fine. Leave 5 stars. You can still buy the t-shirts with the amazing Don't Play Baltax artwork and the paiagroject logo. And you can still tip me. PayPal link in the description. Please help me getting a proper microphone. Oh my god, this episode still has an awful audio quality. I am sorry, people. I really am. If you help me together, we can finally have a proper microphone. Thanks a lot. Thanks again. And hear you on the next episode of Paia Groject. Oh, answer to the poll in the comments. Bye!
Hello, fellow listeners of paiagroject. This is Molfo speaking. Did I say fellow listeners? Yes, I did say that, because as of last episode, as you've heard, I am not part of the creative team behind this podcast anymore. This is due to a number of reasons. I am now living part-time in a new country. I'm learning a new and very difficult language. Thank you for nothing, Germanic branch of the Indo-European language family. And also, I'm happy to announce I have a baby in the making, very much in the making. As a matter of fact, it's another maybe 5 minutes and we'll take him out of the oven. So yes, this is how I moved from content creator to listener. So maybe you're asking yourself, what exactly is it that I am doing here? And well, I was very happy about paiagroject's amazing comeback. And so we were talking with Matteo last week after I listened to the Ambas guide, and Matteo asked me, since he was preparing the Taklon guide, if I had any ideas, any advice, and so we discussed Taklons a little, and then Matteo told me, while you're at it, why don't you record me a short message for all of our listeners, and just you can pass by to say hello for all time's sake. And this is what I'm doing. This is me warming you up. Well, I'm not sure I'm warming you up or I'm warming you down. That depends on where Matteo is gonna insert this bit inside the podcast, at the end, at the beginning, in the very middle, for whatever reason. But yes, so since I have the opportunity, I will just take care of a little detail that Matteo forgot about in the last episode, and that is the description of the picture that you find on the faction sheet. Not that there is much to say about the Ambas picture, to be honest, but you know that Gaia Project has this vibe where every faction is a different like the Lantidas are the dolphin people, and the Hatshalas are the chicken people, and the Itars is not really clear, but I'm guessing something like the dog people. And then there's the Taklons, and the Taklons are the insect people. And you're going, I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me no, but also the Ivids are the insect people. Yes, but the Ivids are more like the ant people, while the Taklons are a very specific type of insect. So what it is that the Taklons do? The Taklons, they focus on their brainstorm, right? And I'm sure you're all familiar with these insects that, they move around, pushing, rolling around this ball, right? You know these insects that go around pushing the ball. You know what ball I'm talking about. You know what that specific ball is made of, right? And so the Taklons are those insects, all right? So the whole point about playing a Taklons game is about moving the ball around, rolling the ball around. So this is my bit. This is all I have to say. This is all my advice for you as Taklons players. Just remember, push the ball around, and everything is gonna be fine. Ciao.
Wait. I didn't forget anything. It's just that it felt weird doing that alone, and well, the Ambas artwork like speaks for itself. I don't know. This monocle humanoid, sort of, I don't know, tribal chieftain attitude, fleshy hair. What else can I say? Nothing. It's self-explanatory. It explains itself.